there is no way that Hole in the Rock or the town of Bluff want to co-manage and co-pay for the road going up to the cemetery or that parking area. And so Hole in the Rock would like that changed, as I think we probably would too. We would manage the road and we would cover the road with the Class C road funds. It doesn't require co-management and decision-making. And Hole in the Rock would do the parking lot because that's the ground that they own underneath it. The agreement allows for easements on both, for both Hole in the Rock, people visiting the graves there, visiting the historic graves, and visiting the ones we've been burying. So this agreement, if we approve it, will need to have an addendum. And I would like that reflected in the vote that we will be doing an addendum on those two pieces. Now, for discussion purposes, does anyone on the council object and want to keep co-management and decision-making on the road or the parking lot? Okay. And I assume that management ever. Jed and I had 2 or 3 conversations and we were both like, this is something I asked Chris and Jens Nielsen to correct and it didn't get done. And so the good thing is by approving the agreement, we can do the deeds, we can transfer all the ownership and just tidy that piece up. It also gets the county out of the picture by approving it today. So that's my recommendation. Any questions about the agreement itself?
Nope, I moved really fast. Motion to approve Bluff Cemetery agreement with San Juan County Hole in the Rock Foundation and the town of Bluff, with addendums discussed. Is that specific enough?
Yes.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? It's unanimous. Then one other piece is in this agreement, it does say that the town would be assuming all the assets, real and personal, of the cemetery board that San Juan County tried to create. That would include the 4,000 and some odd dollars in the bank account. And when I saw that the account number was not specifically referenced in the agreement, which I also thought we should have, Jens Nielsen at the commission meeting told the commission before they voted that this also included transfer of the funds, and the funds were transferred today to our general fund by Robin Bond, and she has closed that cemetery account. So we are moving closer to having everything cleaned up on the cemetery. The last piece of the cemetery that I needed to say anything about is there is a notice that's running in the San Juan Record now for a cemetery board that would be appointed hopefully sometime in January by the new council by the 2026. And so if you're interested, please send a resume and a letter of interest by 5 p.m. on January 13th, 2026. And then the 2026 council will make those decisions. Anything further on the cemetery?
Spencer's gonna be picking up some rebar for us to mark those possible graves,
Great.
likely graves.
And I've confirmed with the archaeologists and with Century Mapping that there's no way that we know what is in those graves. It could be anybody, it could be any animal. What we do know from Mark Bond looking at it is he said when you're looking, it looks like there are 2 rows that were planned out there pretty evenly marked. So thanks for getting that rebar up there. And please, everybody, don't remove the flag, the pin flags yet.
But yeah, we're gonna try to do that soon.
Perfect. Thank you. Then moving to number 2. Discussion and vote on the revised general plan. uh, the general plan was, we talked about it at this meeting, and we've had all the revisions made by Aaron that we talked about. The only two things that need to be done to the document will be filling in the appendices, references, and then the formatting part for ADA compliance. But otherwise, the text, everything in here is good to go. And if we want, we can pass it off today, and Aaron will do all the compliance work when she returns from vacation. Any discussion about the general plans?
Thanks everybody that worked on it.
Yeah,
Felt like
definitely, definitely.
Big lift.
I feel like we've really discussed it quite a bit and I'm comfortable with voting.
So, motion to adopt the revised general plan.
Second,
Any further discussion? I'm with everyone else. Great work, team. It's done for 5 more years. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? And if there's anyone opposed, you can rewrite it. All right. Then number 3, discussion and vote on options for the Environmental Protection Agency's government to government grant. And let's just break this into the 2 pieces, so.
Yeah. So last week at the work session, I presented different options for proceeding with this EPA grant. So regardless, we are going to need to send and close out documents by the 27th. I did yesterday send a request for an extension for those closeout documents till the end of February, just because they are the SF 425 is a pretty extensive document. I attended a call with some of the Lawyers for Good Government earlier this week, and they said all of the different things I should be collecting. And I would like to have Aaron here to look over it before I send it in. So if they grant that extension, it would be great. Regardless, though, it does need to be submitted by the 27th, or if not, it needs to be submitted by the 27th of this month. But the question for you guys is, do you want us to close out accepting the termination, or do we want to close out with reservation is basically what the Lawyers for Good Government and the Environmental Protection Network are calling it, reserving our right to take them to court, file a claim in the Court of Federal Claims in the next 6 years, or if that section 138 case that is currently being litigated, if they were to bring in all other section 138 grants, which would include us, then we could also benefit from whatever the judge would decide. I did chat with Ann, and I called Lenise the other day, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounded like she was comfortable with closing with reservation. If the council was.
She was, and so that's, I always want to say Peterman, but it's Peterson, right?
no,
Peterman. So when we talked with Lenise, Mayor of Helper, who was our pass-through partners, we wanted to be sure that we weren't going to impact anything they were doing. And they actually had no federal grants impacted by the theft of our funds. So she was good with it. In fact, she said that she was very comfortable with us closing out with the reservation on it. And then yesterday or today, the days are running together, Malia and I talked about whether we should extend the time for the filing of all documents. And certainly the amount of data we have to put together would not make any sense to rush it. So I told her to go ahead and get it in and extend it. Does anybody have any questions? The only thing I'll say is, and I said it repeatedly, but I don't expect any different result. And I would have been comfortable voting for one, just close it out and tell them to shut it, basically. But I also feel like we've had really good advice and information about doing the second option. And there's no point in making a point when we're gonna lose it anyway. And if miracles happen or we get it back, then we've at least left that window open.
Go ahead.
closing with reservation does mean that if there is litigation at some point, we could still be a part of it if we chose to, whereas.
Yes.
Motion to close out Environmental Protection Agency's government to government grant with reservation.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? It's unanimous. Then the second part is guidance for the administrative assistant on other grants and projects.
So this is basically just following up from the presentation from last week as well, if there was anything in particular that jumped out at you that you wanted me to address in specific, I believe. Is that what this was?
Yes.
Okay.
I think, we're all somewhat familiar with the burdens of Community Impact Board and Community Development Block Grant, and there are a lot of work. It would be nice to get something to keep us moving. And it may be that looking at CDBG is a little easier than the CIB. However, I think we need to go back to look at someplace like Echoes and start setting up the contacts in January with the Echoes Foundation or similarly situated nonprofits who might be much more, I don't want to say sympathetic to our difficulty, but might have the funds that we could qualify for to keep the building, the CCC moving. So I think that's what I would say. Obviously, 2026 is coming in and you all will be making that decision, but I'd be willing to, grant writing is a lot. I'm not a good grant writer, but I'm willing to help reach out to folks and do what I can do.
And Malia has been getting information and working on options to keep things moving with the grants that we used to have active. So hopefully these things can still be moving forward while we figure things out.
So my computer is not staying on. No, now it is. I don't know what it's doing. So do you need anything further from us at this point, Leah?
I don't think so. I think that's great. We'll continue moving along.
Well, you've done a lot of work, so thank you. Number 4, discussion and vote on the state of Utah contract. I should show off my new mug. Discussion and vote on the state of Utah contract amendment to contract number 240632202. Rural Communities of Opportunity Grant from the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity. Malia.
So I was hoping to have a reallocation numbers ready for you today, but I do not. We did receive the contract extension, I believe since last we spoke. So yay, go team, we got the extension. So I'm now working on a reallocation of those $269,000. I've been meeting with the Uncommon Architects to discuss the construction documents. The DRC met for a couple of hours, it felt like last week, where we really just poured through them and sent 10 or 12 questions over to the architects for clarification. And once we receive that clarification, we can, I'll then have a better track for this reallocation. From what it looks like though, it might be worth hiring a general contractor to complete the phase of money that we currently have. So completing demo, windows, framing, and then maybe even getting started with some of the plumbing or electrical. I don't know exactly how that works, but that's what they'll tell us. And Britt and I both briefly spoke about this, of just getting an RFP together for a general contractor to basically give us an idea of where we're going. Speaking with Uncommon this week, The critical path schedule that we've discussed is actually something the contractor will provide. And so it's not something that they can give us, and we kind of that's where we're at. So, as I continue learning more.
They did give us a big outline of like rough steps. but
Right.
Not the actual critical.
Right.
So that was helpful.
Yeah, for sure. So, sorry, guys, no vote on this one.
I'm just thinking back. So I signed the contract amendment after our last meeting. So can I just get approval retroactively for me having signed off on the contract so that Malia could keep moving? I signed it December 12th of 2025, giving us the extension and agreeing to the terms.
It was a 1-year extension,
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah,
6 months, yeah.
yeah.
Motion to approve 6-month extension signed on December 12th with the, I just said it, Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity, Rural Communities Opportunity Grant.
Second.
Any further discussion or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? It's unanimous. Then, thanks, Malia, for getting that done.
Thank you for signing.
I love signing. All right, number 5, update on status of food donation to the town of Bluff community from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints via the Echo Inc. Food Bank. And so Lamani from the humanitarian aid of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints notified me by phone on Tuesday that we had been finalized to get a $20,000 donation as a pass-through from Echo Food Bank. And so Tuesday was kind of a mess. So I emailed him and thanked him, and then he's on the list for me to call personally tomorrow to thank him, but we are approved, and Malia has been working with Laura Watson. So do you want to update?
Yes, I contacted Laura Watson earlier this week and sent her an email of requested items. She was going to look into what it would take, if it would make sense for us to receive all of this donation in one delivery, or if the delivery cost is low enough that we could do multiple donations. Based on her response, it looks like the delivery cost is low enough. I sent her a wish list, and she's gonna order 2 to 3 pallets, and we'll start there. And then as the need grows or changes, that way we're not stuck with, as we currently are, with a bunch of potato flakes that people don't necessarily want. So we'll continue adjusting our wish list as the need adjusts.
And is that wish list coming out of that 20,000? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Make
so
sure.
yeah, so she is the one with, good question. She works with Echo Inc. And so
Okay.
the donation was from Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to Echo Inc. And they are supplying the goods to us. So,
Cool.
there is a potential to do a separate food drive if it feels like that would be a better use, to kind of like we used to do and just make it a separate entity, or we can continue just using it to supplement our food pantry.
Yeah, I think just from the purposes of keeping the food separated, it probably would be a better choice to do a separate food distribution. And that way, in the accounting, it has to be done to the food bank of Utah. It's a little easier. And Malia and I talked a bit about if the food were delivered on pallets to the old CCC to the modular, we've got shelves and space in there, and just move it like we did before, like pick a day, advertise it, have people line up and get the food. But kind of play with that. Malia's doing a training with food pantry volunteers on the 7th of January. And, by then probably about the time we'd actually be getting the shipment and kind of decide if that's a good use or if there's a better way to do it.
How much for the 3 pallets, that you said?
No, not yet. She'll get more information soon, and I'll let you guys know.
Cool.
This is, yeah, she said the estimation on delivery is about 2 weeks. So that falls pretty well with right around the new year.
Awesome.
When we're gonna actually have a little bit less over here because we get our deliveries the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. And this month we have 5 Tuesdays, and so we're gonna actually go 3 weeks off of one delivery, so we're going to do a lower stock.
The other thing that Laura Watson said, which I thought was interesting, she works with a lot of different communities. And she said that the first week of January, they have historically found that that's where the greatest need is over the holidays, because people are spending all their money in December and they lack money for food in the first part of January. So that's a good time for delivery.
Good work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
While we're talking food pantry, I recently went through the numbers from the entire year. And I have them pulled up on the screen of the number that we served in January of 25. We're looking at this column. January of 25, we served 164, and you can just see the numbers creeping up each month. We've already served 203 this month, and we still have 2 more weeks.
That's a lot of food. Yeah, a lot of need. Right. Thank you. Next item. Update on the point in time survey for the local homeless coordinating council and the state of Utah. So today I took the survey that point in time had out. And it was really more formatting, like, does this poster look better? Does this informational brochure look better? How many days should we do the survey? So the only thing that's really relevant, I mean, I already sent it in, and people will just have to live with my vote on how it looked. But what was really important to me is the point in time we voted January 28th to January 31st, or January 28th to January 30th, or January 29th to February 1st. And I went with the January 28th to January 31st because it gave more time to do it. I have no idea where it will end up. I needed to provide a person or contact that could do it, so I put in Malia and myself, figuring as the new council meets, they can figure out who they want to do, but at least for the point of contact, we'll be on the hook. Of course, I won't have an email address. So stay tuned on that, but I think we'll be hearing something. The survey had to be done by the 22nd, so Rosa Vargas will get us the results after the 22nd, and we'll know what the dates are. Any questions on that?
I have lots, but I'll get rid of those.
There is a training video, which is more helpful usually than the written instructions that come out. The training video usually walks through, like, how do you upload onto your phone if you're going to do it electronically, what are the paper things look like. But that'll come out in more detail once they choose the dates. All right, then do we have Michael Havocan on? Okay, so number 7 and 8. 7 is report on status of road work on 7 West Half Canyon and 2nd East. So Michael, if you're on, we'll have you
Yeah,
report.
Okay, hi, everyone. So 7th West, it's gonna start up on Monday is the drainage at the bottom of the street at the highway. We're gonna put in a collection box and a culvert that's gonna cross the street and tie into the existing groundwater system in West Bluff. So that's left to be done on Seventh West. The curve is in. Over on Calf Canyon, it's yeah, substantially complete. So I haven't gotten the engineer reports on the compression test or on the PSI test on the curve. But I would say at this point, it's substantially complete, and talking to Trent and Silent Gregor this afternoon, they figure it'll be done next week. Any questions?
Has everybody looked at the work, at least cruised around?
I have witnessed it firsthand on both Second and Captain. I'm amazed at the progress on Second, Cap Canyon. I haven't driven on it to do deep dive inspection, but I sure have been seeing them up there at work. Yeah, they start pretty early in the morning and work all day.
Yeah,
So
they're
I think
cruising.
We're getting our money for it. I hope at least they're down here working. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Second looks great. It's you know, already I'm seeing improvement. They did put the recycled asphalt down today. And but yeah, it's a lot smoother to drive on already. So, thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that.
I do have something to add. There is going to be a road closure of Seventh West on Monday while they finish up some of the work that Michael was talking about. It's just going to be Monday, but from 191 on to Seventh West, that turn is going to be closed. So access to that side of town is going to be through 6th. Tell your friends,
Or through,
or elsewhere.
on the west end through Copper.
Yes, or through Cumberlands. But I have composed an email and sent it to Linda to share with town, but if you know someone that lives over there, please let them know. It should just be Monday, according to Trent.
And so for everybody who lives in my neighborhood, I am out of town starting tomorrow. Don't even bother to go to my house to complain about it.
I want to go
There, and I'm not going
Knock on your
to.
door.
Stand on the porch and watch.
You know, people can take Willow. They can take 6 to Willow and turn left on Willow.
So I'm just looking.
Is that concrete curb gonna be shared enough to drive on though? So I don't think you should send people down Willow.
No public comment. Sorry, keep this cutting off. Okay, so here's
Well,
the,
whichever way they can get over.
and Michael, don't answer. Thank you. So the proposal from Sondrager. There was a supplemental proposal that came in that needs to be approved because we've already approved the work. If my understanding is correct, this additional breakdown for 15,440 was already pretty much accounted for in the work that we approved. But I just got that today, and unless somebody wants to delay it and have me do more research or something, I'm just going to go ahead and sign it since we've already approved it. Okay, I'm going to do that, and then Michael, does this go back to Malia?
Yes, please. And if, you know, I think perhaps Trent, I don't know his schedule tomorrow, but he'll pick it up.
We worked it out.
Okay, good. Thank you, Malia.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right, then I'll work with Malia to make sure I sign it in the right place. That's 2 areas, so then on number 8, discussion and vote on the town accepting Copper Cliff 2 roads as Class C roads and the required signage. Ties directly in with 9, which is a discussion and vote on the town accepting the 10-foot quote alley end quote at the end of West 8th North and Craig Simpson.
Hmm.
So Michael, why don't you explain what we talked to Craig Simpson and Barry Simpson about?
Yeah, we had a meeting on the eighth over at the road, and the feeling, my feeling is to accept these roads, and we'll do the signage in exchange for them giving the town that alley, which is 10 foot by 130 feet, and it leads up into the canyon. The town would provide the signs for the streets and traffic control in exchange for the alley. So, another thing is, we're losing some roads up on the bench. We're losing about 3 miles of dirt roads. So here we would probably get about almost a half a mile of gravel road. And so that's important, for our disbursement, or bi-monthly disbursement.
So in addition to what Michael said, back 7 years ago, when we did not take the Copper Cliff 2 roads, there were a number of considerations. One was that we were just, we're newly incorporated, didn't have any kind of a reserve to build upon. And it is generally the developer's responsibility to put in the signage, and it needs a stop sign and a yield sign and street signs. However, the benefit to the town by providing the signage would be that we're going to get that section on 8 West, which is the public access that people use to go up into the BLM area. And everybody's, knows where it is, they use it. And I want to be clear that there wasn't any sense that I picked up that Simpsons would say, well, if you're not going to take this, we're not going to do this kind of thing. It was just like, they don't want to be bothered with the signage. Michael's already ordering signs. We're getting a benefit financially and aesthetically. So I'm with Michael. I think we should do it.
Yeah, the cost for the signs are approximately about $1,000. So that's the exchange for the alley. Our thinking early on also was, that we expected to see more homes constructed out there. And, that hasn't happened. And, there's residents on those roads, and they would like very much to be their roads to be part of their town.
Anybody have any questions, any thoughts?
Motion for the town to accept Copper Cliff 2 roads as Class C roads, required signage.
Second.
If there's no further discussion, all in favor say aye. 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 Anyone opposed? It's unanimous.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and start working on revising the C roads map to remove those roads up on the bench and add these roads.
Sounds good.
And
then,
to change 2nd Street East and Black Locust west of 3rd Street from dirt road to gravel road.
sounds like a plan.
Progress.
So number 9,
Motion for town to accept the 10-foot alley at the end of West 8 north from Craig Simpson.
Second.
any further discussion? Then all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? It's unanimous. Michael, thank you very much. I know that
Oh.
I'm gonna go get in the car tomorrow and drive down Second, see what it feels like.
I really hope it's a very smooth ride.
It's much smoother than it was. It's not perfect yet, but they are still working on it,
Okay.
but, You're not launching into the ceiling anymore.
And the speed
Okay.
limit's gonna change to 40.
No,
45.
no. Oh,
Okay, all right, thank you all.
Thanks, Michael.
thanks.
Thank you. The number 10. So the first part of it, discussion and vote on revisions to town of Bluff advisory boards and committee policy. That will be deferred to either, if we have to have a special meeting at the end of the month, or the first part of January to vote, or it will go to the January 6th, so stay tuned. Then, see,
Can I ask one question?
sure.
Do, are our current people who are sitting on those boards interested in continuing their seat or are they wanting off?
So that's what's interesting. On the public health board, that's Lois. And Lois had decided that she didn't think she wanted to renew.
Okay.
She went to a meeting yesterday, and I got a text from her today that said she is not at that point. They had a very good meeting and she thinks she wants to stay on it, and she will talk to me when first of the year comes. But she's looking like she wants to stay on there. On the San Juan County Planning and Zoning Board, we have been kicked off. The ad in the San Juan Record specifically asks for a board member in the unincorporated, a commission member in the unincorporated area with a preference of east of Monticello or the Mexican Hat area. So we, as of this month, at the end of the month, we no longer have a seat, which is fine. Melissa Rigg did some investigation and I was incorrect. The two members who are there that I thought, two of the members that are on the commission that I thought actually were receiving Monticello or Blanding services are not. So they live in an unincorporated section and they do not receive services. Then the other ads that were run by San Juan County don't apply to us. The San Juan Transportation Board position was held by Michael Havoc and expires December 31st of this year, but he already re-upped with the Transportation Board. So other than getting the revisions to the policies, I think we're good. And the main thing that people that will be filling these seats kind of need to know is that the policy was adjusted, assuming we get it revised and we vote on it, adjusted from a minimum of 3 members to a maximum of 5 on any one of the boards. And then there was some other fine tuning. I'm hoping that we'll get it back next week. So any other questions on the boards? Okay, update and discussion on the Wi-Fi provided by Galaxy IT on the Bluff Community Center grounds. Malia.
Many moons ago, I discussed Wi-Fi with you guys. It was brought up for Arts Festival, getting an extender basically on the east side of the community center, extending out to the pavilion and to the rest of the property. I have reached back out to Galaxy and chatted with Emory, who was one of the suggestions, and Emory Telecom said to go through Galaxy because they are already our service provider. If we were to go through Emory, it would actually look like we'd have to get a new service. It just wouldn't make sense since Galaxy's already providing. And so, let me pull this information back up to jog your memory. So we had option 1 was to go through Starlink for a low price of $699.99 for installation with about $80 a month. Is that what we looked it up? So, okay, it was months ago. How do you not remember? with about $80 a month as a service, but the benefit of that was that we could actually turn it off and then turn it back on as it was needed. Aaron did point out that according to the strategic plan, it is in there to provide Wi-Fi to community members, and so that is why I'm continuing to bring this back to you. An update on going through Galaxy, the installation on that is $579, and it would just be installing another one of those Unify 7 Pro outdoor options. It would look like that. It would just extend it further, and it wouldn't increase our rate for our Wi-Fi. And the question that was asked was, is there any way that we can ensure that someone streaming in the parking lot is not going to take all of the service away from a council meeting or office meetings? And what Galaxy can do is limit the bandwidth that each user can use to like 10 megabits per second versus the 100 that we currently have available. So they can change it for that one
Yeah,
specifically.
you can partition one
Yeah.
off to.
So that was my update on that.
My preference, I think, is with Galaxy, which we're already using them, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what I had in mind anyways. I think Starlink would be good, especially for being mobile. I mean, the idea was like we need something to go around town. That would be cool. And then there's also just, you know, general concerns about Starlink as a company, you know what I mean? So we've got light and fast internet in town, so we might as well just use it for extending what we've already got. It's my preference.
Well, and they've gotten so much better. We use one at our place, one of the mesh extenders, and I feel like they used to be terrible, but now they work really well. We have ours where we partition off part of it for the guest house. I even have an extender into the garage that usually is just, it's pretty low, but going off of the router in our house covers like our whole property. I mean, I can basically get service at the community center from our house on that corner. But yeah, the systems are pretty good now, so I think that will great.
And it is in the strategic plan. And
It is.
specifically do it here in the library.
Unfortunately, I did not put on, ask for this to be a vote, so sorry, guys.
I'll get my eager.
You know, it was gonna be a good one.
I don't think we need a vote because we're staying with our provider
Okay.
and we're just
Extending
extending the
service.
service.
Yep.
So I don't think we need to vote on it.
Okay.
Yes.
So, okay, thank you. That's good. Another thing we can cross off the strategic plan.
Who gets to claim it?
Yeah.
Well,
I think
it was Fritz to work on, but.
It was a big push.
Yeah, that is right there.
You're welcome.
All right, then we've already done 12, the cemetery agreement, we'll go to 13. Discussion and vote for a January 13th, 2026 Community Development Block Grant Public Hearing. Malia.
Gosh, I'm all over this agenda. So January 13th, the Community Development Block Grant Public Hearing has been scheduled. What this is just to ask for a time. We didn't schedule a time because we did not know if you guys are gonna keep with the same meeting schedule. So this is a Tuesday. This is the required public hearing in order for us to apply for Community Development Block Grant. It has to be completed by the end of January. There's a template that they have provided. We, at the public hearing, say, if we were to receive funds, community, what would you want us to spend the funds on? And then there could be a meeting after that the council can then decide what they would like to spend the funds on, but the public hearing template is very specific. It has to be a general public hearing. What do you guys want these funds to be for? So since you already have a meeting that day.
If we're keeping with our current schedule, that would typically be our work session meeting. That's if we keep with that schedule. So,
But we could just open it,
right,
public, close that one.
open it with a public hearing or close it with a public hearing?
I would probably open it with public hearing, just so public's got a start time that's done, and then we can move in, so we're not.
So could we say 3:30 and maybe do it at an earlier meeting, because I have a feeling that that's gonna be a busy work session.
That's fine with me. I'm fine with 3:30. I reserve that whole afternoon.
I know, me too, me too.
There's no rental of the community center that would conflict with that, so that would work. Yeah, because
I
food
should be
pantry is
back.
going by 2:30.
I should be back.
Okay. At 3:30? If I hear a vote for it?
Yeah, motion now to adopt, I guess, January 2026 Community Development Block Grant Public Hearing, 3:30.
Sweet, thank you. I'll get that posted probably tomorrow.
Is there a
Into-
second?
I second.
Oh, sorry. Eager.
All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed, so.
Okay,
Do it as fast as I can.
right, get this done.
All right, number 14. So we've never paid our roads manager, Michael Havican, for his past work. He's always been an unpaid person doing the road work. And as we've increased the revenue and increased his responsibilities, it makes sense to begin paying him through the Class C road fund. And so in previous years, Michael was not, he didn't really take a position, but this year, we're going into 2026, he said, yes, he would accept a salary. So Aaron and I did we went through a couple of options. I talked with Michael today. So Michael would like to be classified as an employee, and that was Aaron's recommendation as well, that that position, whoever it is, Michael or anyone, is an employee. That there'd be a $60 an hour rate. By comparison, Michael, I believe, is making $85 an hour when he was doing this type of job. It would be capped at $12,000 a year, because some months Michael doesn't do much, other months like this last month, he's been really doing a lot. With the contingency that if there is a project that comes out, the council could look at paying for that project in addition to the cap. And that this would, Aaron raised this, that it would be retroactive to December 1st of 2025. So if everyone has a suggestion that would be different, this is the time to throw it out. Otherwise, that would be the recommendation that Aaron, Michael, and I would.
I think it's good to pay people for, especially for these kind of technical skills. It's amazing that Michael's here to do it. First place. Do, if I motion it, do I need to make any of those details? Like that, that employee $60.
I think-
To say it discussed.
Yeah, as an employee, as discussed, and then I'm sure Aaron will want to do a short contract for him to sign. Put that in.
Motion to, I guess, hire Michael Havican as an employee on salary for roads manager as allowed through Class C, $60 an hour rate, retroactive to December 1st.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? It's unanimous, yeah. I just worry about the secession piece of that.
Yeah.
You know, finding somebody who's as skilled as Michael, but I'm sure there are people out there.
But it'll be good to have already an expectation that that's gonna have to be paid
Yeah,
to find that person anyways.
he's been very generous with his time and expertise, so yes.
Yeah.
All right, then. Number 15, a request for letter of support for Canyon Smokehouse grant application for 2026 economic development. Has everybody looked at the letter that's in the packet that's proposed to?
We'll also pull it up. I'm glad to report Nelson is not on this call.
Is everybody okay with it?
Do you
If
need
so,
to go?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept, or that we accept the proposal for writing the letter of support for Canyon Smokehouse for the 2026 grant application from San Juan County, I believe.
Second.
Any questions?
Switch it up.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? It's unanimous. Item 16, review of Cedar Mesa fuels break proposed by the BLM. You want to just
Yeah.
give quick one?
Yeah, so this is a big project going along roads in Cedar Mesa. It's supposed to address fire fuel reduction with removing biomass. They'll do a mix of piling up debris to be picked up for firewood and hopefully moving firewood down. So hopefully like our fire bank, Red Mesa, places like that. I think it's a good project. There's potential to hire a lot of folks to do it. It doesn't seem to adversely affect any cultural sites that were the roads, not already the main thing. And then it says that they're gonna use some of the funds to mitigate some of the incursions that's happened, like all the illegal routes that have been used to get firewood, to try to close some of those off. So I think it's a good project, so.
You don't have any recommendations that we write anything?
No, not for this. I think we just not saying anything and supporting it, so. And the people that are behind this have been down and visited like 4 or 5 times to our wood bank and stuff, so they're active.
Okay, good. Are you going to go?
I gotta go. Sarah's got a star party.
No, that's okay. It's 5:04 and Britt's leaving the meeting, but we still have.
It's like being married to a vampire.
One I got to do with Cedar.
Edge of the Cedars, yeah.
I thought that was last year.
Well, unless we got it totally turned around. Cool, thank y'all very much.
Okay, have a good
Yeah,
night.
have a good evening.
Number 17, update on draft ordinances left behind. I just wanted to let the folks on the 2026 council know that Jake brakes and vehicle idling have been passed off to Chris, but they're sitting, Chris McEnany, they're sitting, in terms of prioritizing everything, those two are executive decisions were kind of made based on our conversations at council work sessions to let those go to 2026. There are drafts there for Chris McEnany to work on. That just a reminder that we pretty much scrapped any animal ordinance at this point. And I think that if the 2026 moving forward council wanted to engage in animal ordinancing, they'd really need to start fresh. Because we narrowed it down to dogs and cats, and the enforcement's just such a problem that let's just let it ride. So I'm working with Aaron and Leah, kind of trying to review things before January 6th to make sure we've covered everything that has to be passed off. And Linda and I've given our breakdown of what boards we're on, what seats we hold. So I think that'll go smoothly. Or not, but it'll go smoothly. I have great faith. Great faith. So that was just the update. Any questions? All right, then number 18, a discussion and vote for stipend reimbursement for completion of advanced EMT class, and this was really put on by Linda. So go ahead.
So in September, Bess Bennett requested funds for gasoline to attend these classes, and she has finished. She is, there's 2 tests that she takes. One of them is for the state of Utah. The other one is the national test. And so she completed those. And at our meeting in September, Lou suggested that we give her $500 because she was in the process of doing this travel. And then give her 500 more on the completion. And that's in part because if someone did this but didn't pass the tests, we might not reimburse them because they wouldn't, I mean, so basically, she or I or whoever is requesting that the 500 be given to her for, it's, oil changes, wheels, wear and tear, just, usual. So she's not being compensated for her time or anything. This is just, pretty much wear and tear.
I really appreciate all the time and effort that Beth's put into getting this, and I agree that it was good to separate the payments up just to make sure that we as a town actually would benefit from her completion, and I know that we will, since she is one of our 2 current active EMTs. So I motion that we pay Elizabeth Bennett the second half of the $500 reimbursement for her completion of advanced EMT classes.
I second.
Any further discussion? Then all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? It's unanimous. All
So
right,
depending on which, if you have the old version or the new version of the agenda, because I have the old version, there are 3 more things that Lee has put in. So
so do you have the old one or
I have the old one. The 3 are kind of related.
are those
The
the
new
ones
one's the one in the packet.
from Kristen?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I've got the current one. I was like, okay, what 3 more?
I have
Right.
more things to
So if we can get Kristen Bushnell up and running on 19, 20, and 21. Which 19 is report of task record from building department permit technician.
Are we good?
Yes, you're good. Go.
Okay, I don't want to speak out of turn again. I got slapped. It's very picky about that cement. So this is just kind of our ongoing list of upcoming projects. We wanted to give you guys an overview. I'll be honest, like my time, I've basically committed to 20 hours a month with the town. And that 20 hours is pretty maxed out on just maintaining the building department, maintaining emails, phone logs, permits, applications, and making sure everything I get from Corey as far as inspection reports and photos and all that get documented. We've had every intention to, if we have extra time, work on some of these items. Some of them are very critical items, and this list was put together in a priority way. So some items get kicked below, but this list is ongoing with Aaron and Malia and Anne. It will be shared with our next mayor of just things upcoming that we need to have on our radar. So if we're ever running short on hours in any given month, we try to start whittling on some of these tasks. There are 2 bigger issues right now that we want to address, and we'll get into those on our next items, but just know that this list exists, it's live, and it is ongoing, depending on what we need to deal with. But at the current point in time, we're pretty maxed out on our hours available to the town of Bluff. If we're only maintaining 20 hours a month, I have talked to Aaron and Malia about upping those hours, but I want to just throw out some numbers here so you guys know where we stand. We're hitting the building department pretty spot on financially. So the town expenses for 2025, which was not a full year, we started in April, was 13,500. A full year will cost us 18,000 to keep me and Corey just maintaining the building department. This year, starting in April, we've brought in 16,400 in collected fees. Our main goal is to break even, and so we did pretty damn good this round. We've got a little shy of 3,000 to spare this year. If we have a low year, obviously that will try to make up for it. So in talking to Corey and Aaron and Malia, we feel like our fees are set right. We feel like it's fair. The payment is fair to us for the time we've committed. And so I think we nailed that this year, in that. But it doesn't leave a whole lot of time to do these extra things. And so we are concerned about the longevity. I mean, this year we hit it right, but if we have a slowed down year, then tax dollars have to kick in to keep us. The point of hitting it just dead even is that the people using our services are paying for our services. We don't want to become a huge strain on town budget. And so our main mission is to become a self-sustaining department, basically. Okay, so that's any questions about updates?
No, it looks like enough to keep you busy for a while.
I mean, it could be a full-time job. We've talked about that. I don't know that town's ready to take that on. I have expressed that I have the availability to take that on. There is so much to do. We're starting at ground zero. We're getting there. We're picking off some of the have tos right now. But, I just want to plant the seed, like you could totally validate a full-time job with this. So,
Well, I think that's where I pulled up my cup that says, that sounds like a problem for the mayor. So, you'll be seeing this a lot, on January 6th. Yeah, and so do you want to move to the two specific requests that you have?
yeah,
Which is
I wanted to just wrap up. Anybody who wants to know specifically about building permits individually, those are updated in our planning and zoning meetings every month. So if you want to know exactly what permits are open right now, those are shared every month with the planning and zoning meeting. And so you can see those notes. Also available by request. All of our documents are live updates. And so if you have any issues, those are public records. You can just say, hey, I want to know what this guy's doing. We can send you inspection dates and times and stuff like that. So hopefully nobody has.
So we need copies of the completed permits and checks for our records, so that, if we get a grant request or some other request, so that we have them here. I don't know that we need I'm sure you have a lot of information going on, but specifically those two things.
Yep, and those are in our shared files. So Aaron, Malia, and Ann all have access to those files at any given time.
They need to be hard copies.
Okay, they actually don't, according to state law. They changed the building codes. You used to have to hold on to everything hard copy for 10 years. Some things you had to hold on to forever hard copy. The state of Utah has changed the laws on the building codes and building records that everything can be digitized. Some things we still have to hold on to forever. I don't know what that looks like if our shared Microsoft folder ever gets hacked. I haven't been creating a backup on my own computer just because I don't want any government records on my personal computer. So I don't know, maybe we create a backup every now and then so that forever can be managed in case we have a glitch in our system. So that's a good point, Linda.
Right, but as the records officer, I understand that these are different times that we keep different kinds of documents. but we need the hard copy here in our, archive room. You know,
Okay, so
why
we can
don't-
just print those for you.
that'd be
But
great.
does that work?
Great.
Okay, so
Okay.
Erin or Malia or myself
Yes,
can all print those off.
That would be great, thank you.
Okay, moving to item 20, unless somebody has a question about the task record. Discuss and vote for building department permit technician to complete special project San Juan County Health Department minimum lot size for septic. Kristen?
So this is, as Ann's mug said, we're kind of kicking the can down the road on permanently getting more hours allotted to us. So in the meantime, we're gonna put a Band-Aid on it with a special project. And get 20 more hours for the month of January to address this. This one is very critical. So it has come up with our health department with Dennis Shumway that the minimum lot size as per state code is 1 acre. What this does for the town of Bluff, who all of our lots were set up on 0.41 acres. Or if you're lucky enough to have more, sweet, but most of us do not have a 1 acre lot. And he, it has come up in the recent permit applications for residential that you have to have a 1 acre minimum. So we need to take care of this immediately because it's affecting new residential builds. Anybody, I want to be clear, anybody who is currently on less than 1 acre lot, you come in as what they call non-conforming, which means they're not going to condemn your house or anything, so don't panic, but you will not be able to expand on that use at all. So you can't put in an ADU. Technically, you couldn't expand your house a bunch of bedrooms because you're going to have to expand your tank size. So it does limit town. And because Dennis Shumway is holding the line on this, we need to work with him to fix it. And he has been very amicable to let's get it right legally and fix it so that parcels in Bluff, which are 98% of parcels in Bluff are not 1 acre, that parcels in Bluff are not non-conforming, but that they are a legal parcel and therefore could expand on their house, do a mother-in-law ADU out back, etc., as per our planning allowances. Him and I have already started on this project, but again, we're just maxed out on hours. I'm already over my December hours. So we're just volunteering at this point in time. And so I would appreciate if we could get some additional hours allotted to us with this stipend to take on this special project. It is going to be a lengthy process. As far as we know on the surface, it will go to Bluff Town Council for approval, then San Juan County Board of Health for approval, and we believe it also has to go through County Commission for approval because it is dealing with San Juan County Health Department. So our end of this 20 hours is getting the draft previewed by all parties that need to approve it, and getting that more or less finalized by the end of January, at which point it will be turned over to Bluff Town Council for that first approval in the process.
So you're asking for $750 to do that? Is that right?
Correct, for 20 hours.
So our house is on less than 1 acre. So it's a non-conforming use. But if I vote yes to do this, then that will eventually become fine, right?
Correct.
I'm declaring my conflict of interest right now because I will be voting yes, because I've been talking to Kristen on a couple of these building permits on the small lots that people have that they could actually build on and get a septic that's approved. So questions for Kristen Anybody?
I'm like, to be fair, I think all of us have a conflict of interest because we're all on less than an acre lot.
Yep.
The other thing with this, I kind of missed is, Dennis as the San Juan County Environmental Health, director guy, the head guy, administrator, he can set that acre to be less. And so that's what we're trying to get legally approved is, hey, as long as you can prove these things on your lot, and you have a site plan reviewed with him and soils testing with him, then we can go less than an acre. So just to kind of throw in why he's a key component here.
Kristen, do you know if this rule changed when San Juan County quit going with Southeastern Utah Public Health and switched over to San Juan County Public Health? Because prior to that, it was 0.33 for a septic tank.
So this is state code, so I think that trumps all of our other local health departments. It is also wrong in the San Juan County 2011 zoning. And so that one said 0.5. The reason for the 1 acre, and this is something that we'll have to consider even if we go lower, is that in your site planning, you have to have room for an entirely new septic system aside from your current septic system, so that when that septic system fails, there's an immediate switch over. And so we'll be working closely with the building department and the health department to make sure people understand that when they give us their site plans.
Okay, well, I think.
Yeah,
that,
I don't know when or how it got switched because it's a drinking water quality thing. A lot of places that have septic also have well. And so that's another factor here is that we have a culinary water tap. And so it's complex. I'm not sure why they decided to finally settle on an acre now.
Well, I definitely am in favor of approving this because I feel like that is directly addressed in our strategic plan that we need to work on providing affordable housing, and it is absolutely impossible to provide affordable housing if we have to limit our lot sizes to 1 acre per septic system. So I motion to approve the request. Oh, if I can,
Yes.
without any more discussion, I motion that we approve the request to extend Kristen Bushnell's current January hourly commitment of 20 hours to 40 hours with a compensation of $750 to cover that extension.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, it's 4 yes. All right, moving to number 21, discuss and vote for building department permit technician to complete special project, the 2026 ordinance review and coordination. Kristen.
Like a lot of the same background. We're just maxed out on hours. So we want to put in for another 20 hours. That will put us at 60 hours committed in January. And this one is it trails off of that septic. We just need to go across the board and do a hard review of our planning ordinances. There's been a lot of decisions made throughout parties that aren't connecting. And so what we would like to do is draft suggested edits and compile that as a summary that we can then present to the planning and zoning board, and they will be the approving body there. Because there's a lot of things that are misaligned or they're not in tuned with each other. The septic ordinance will be, part of that. If we choose 0.4 or 0.45, or even if they go down to 0.225, well, that will all have to be coordinated with planning and zoning regulations. And so, but there's a lot more than just the septic to review. One thing we identified just as an example is like our commercial setback from the roadway is 50 feet. That pretty much excludes building along the highway. period. So I like that most commercial setbacks are 0. And the point of that is that you're up against the road, and most of our current buildings that are commercial are not in a 50-foot setback. Most of them go right up to the UDOT setback. And so there's just some things that are making a few building issues impossible. And so we would like to address those so that we can allow for as much ease as we can, because it is hard building in Bluff. Utility connections are very expensive. And, you know, even to just start, by the time you get septic, a power stub, even if the power's right there, and a water stub, even if the water's right there, you're looking at $20,000 to $30,000 to start. And that's if you already own the land. So we really want to try to come in with the view that anything we can get out of the way with, would like to, so that people can maybe a little bit easier try something in Bluff, whether that's a residence or a commercial property. We want to try to get rid of any obstacles that they could have, because it's hard enough as is.
So I just have one comment. Because luckily I won't be voting on this, but the 50-foot setback was really debated. And there was a reason for the 50-foot setback, and that's because the businesses are on the highway. And it's very hard for commercial trucks, semis delivering food products or materials to be able to safely get in and out of that front area onto a highway where the speed is ridiculously been set high. And so there was a lot of discussion. So my question is, have you had anyone apply for a commercial building permit where they wouldn't be able to have that setback, where they've actually applied for the permit and couldn't meet the setback?
Well, so this brings up like the non-conforming stuff. You know, if somebody is non-conforming, which is all of our commercial businesses right now with that 50-foot setback, can they expand on that? The answer is no. So if you want to do anything with your business, you can't.
But my question isn't that. My question is, has anybody specifically applied for a permit and raised that 50-foot setback issue?
Not yet, but they're going to. There are some projects that I've been doing site visits with to discuss this. And so they have not put in an official application, because this is one thing we need to get addressed. But yes, there are people waiting to address that. And just to put it in perspective, and this is something that we'll suggest those edits to the planning and zoning, they can take it or leave it. But your lot widths along the highway are only 100 feet wide back from the road. So if you take out 50 feet, you don't have a whole lot of space left. So it's those types of things that we're going to look at, and we'll compile a summary, and then planning and zoning can take it or leave it on our suggestions.
So the question is, it's $750 for this project then, right? That you're proposing?
Yep. So same rate. That's just our monthly. It's 20 hours for $750. We're doing another 20 hours for another $750. So it'll be 60 hours total for January. And again, this will be pitched or submitted. It will probably show up in the February planning and zoning meeting, but it will be handed off by the end of January to planning and zoning.
Sounds like a plan.
Discussion wise, I think it's good. The planning and zoning committee did a lot of hard work when they were doing their zoning ordinances. But I think it's good to have these things reviewed by a professional, who knows, who knows the codes and knows building and things like that. Just to continue to make sure that we have appropriate zoning, discussions on board. So I think it's a good idea. The motion?
Yeah, go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I motion to accept Kristen Bushdell's proposal for an additional 20 hours on top of her now 40 hours for January, at $750, to review the. Sorry, trying to find it. I'm good at motioning.
Like all of them, all the ordinances.
To review of ordinances, to review the 2026, just lost that. Review of ordinances.
I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? It's unanimous. Hey, thanks, Kristen. I guess I won't be seeing much of you this month of January, December. huh?
Well, I mean, it is timely. It's low and slow right now in my life, so I don't know the availability in the future unless we commit otherwise. And until we find a more permanent solution, just a heads up. And I know Ann, you'll be long gone, but there'll probably be more special projects in the future as funds are available if we can't find more hours per month otherwise.
Well, thanks for your work. It's really, really necessary. So thank you. And thank Corey. Oh, computer's hating me tonight. All right, we're at other.
Do we have bills?
Did we what?
Have bills.
We got a bills
believe it-
packet in the agenda, but I don't see it on the agenda.
At the last meeting, special meeting last week, Aaron requested the transfers to cover bills until January. So
Right.
this might just be for reference of what she
Okay,
has
okay.
paid.
So there's nothing on the agenda for bills to pay.
No. Okay. Did our guy ever jump on? Larson?
Oh, no.
Okay.
So I will give John a call tomorrow and ask if there was some confusion. I have just a reminder for everybody that road work continues. So if you jumped on late, road work is continuing on Cap Canyon, 2nd East and 7 West. 7 West will be closed Monday. And the cemetery board applications are open and due sometime in January, but it's posted on our website and in the San Juan Record. And Malia successfully got the Bluff Community Center beautifully painted. If you haven't noticed, it is gorgeous. Great choice of colors. Thank you. And so another project to take off the list of to-dos. Does anybody else have an other? I'm hoping I don't have to call any special meetings for goal before we get into January. If I do, it will literally be just to vote on something we have to close out, and it would be. Britt said 15 minutes. No, I can probably do it in 5 if we really need to do it. And then we would just need one anchor person here. But I'll try to give everyone a heads up. If you can just let me know. Or let Malia know that you're not going to be available on any, like totally available virtually or not. That would help. Otherwise, everybody have a good holiday.
Too. Can I just request that you send a text message in addition to emails? I'm so good at it.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, well, it is 5:36.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. I'm turning off the recorder.